everybody, and welcome to a new Dive in Live. And welcome, Alvaro.
Hi,
Hey, man.
welcome. Nice. Happy to be here.
Bienvenido.
Gracias.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the people that are watching that don't know Alvaro, he's been releasing music on Kindish, Pipe and Poche, Happy Camper Records, and I don't know, way more other ones. Maybe you can fill the list.
Yeah, well, trying to be in most places I can, right? Like it has been some releases in Sol Selectas,
Oh yeah.
in Landican. Yeah, it has been several things. Try to be around.
Lots of remixes I saw and stuff. And of course, I know you through Burning Man. That's where we met, and it's
Yes.
nice. I miss that place. You seem to be doing well there in the sun, though. Yeah.
I can't complain so much.
No, I can
Miss,
imagine.
we miss it this year, definitely, but I think hopefully we will be ready for the next one, be back there and
I hope so, man.
have some fun.
I hope everything survives. Everybody survives this whole lockdown stuff. But you've got friends listening. Ulrik Kortehanse from probably from Denmark, because you normally live in Denmark, right? So
Yes.
they're listening, man.
I'm based there now,
Yeah.
a bit out of there on more sunny places.
Yeah, it doesn't look
But
like Denmark at all.
no. I have been based in Denmark for the last 8 years.
Yeah, yeah, wow. So, and before that's just Spain, right?
Yeah,
Or
I'm
whereabouts?
originally from Spain. I grew up in Madrid.
Madrid.
Like my father's family is from the north coast, but I have been most of the time in Madrid.
Yeah, yeah, cool. I've never been to Madrid actually. I'll probably will go there soon. Okay, so we
We
have
should at some point enjoy there together.
yeah, that would be great. Yeah, if you're back in Europe and I'm based in Spain, then definitely come and visit me. You know, we got Ramiro Rossotti, we got Remmert, great. M Grower, yeah, he's always here. Fantasia's here. My students are watching. Great to see Alvaro on the show. Yeah, nice. Did you bring
Nice.
your violin to Mexico? You probably did, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, man.
Always,
um,
always coming with me.
I'll never forget the moment I cried at Burning Man when you were playing your set on Robot Heart. You know, it's so beautiful. I was standing in the middle of the desert, and there's this little Spanish guy playing his violin. It was a beautiful moment. I really like. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. You know, it's so
Glad.
nice. I think it's a great instrument. I read you're playing it since you were 5, right?
Yeah, I started like my parents have this big love for music. They met actually in the conservatory. They are not professional musicians, but
Mhm.
they have always have a great love for music. So they gave me that gift since I was young, and I was started with 5 years.
Yeah, nice. So it's like it spilled over to you actually, the love for the music. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and I
And
mean feeling super lucky of like being able to start so early to learn about music and to have some possibilities to learn more since you are so young. I think that is really, really interesting. I'm
yeah,
super grateful about
yeah,
that.
yeah. Great. It's great that you're grateful also about it. You know, I think it's great if your parents offer you
Exactly.
this launch basically. Yeah, I've sometimes messaged my parents in the middle of the night when I was out, you know, or I played somewhere. I was like, "Oh, mom, dad, I love you so much. Thank you for launching me into the world." They must have think like, "Oh, okay, Camille's having a good time," you know. Yeah, but it is true, you know. If your
Yeah.
parents, you know, it's nice. There's actually people say that you choose your parents, you know, so. Could be interesting, but it's a whole different talk. So I'm glad you're here, man. So you're in Mexico. How is it
Yes.
there? It must be weird going from Denmark to Mexico.
Yeah. Also, like it has been a bit like unplanned in a way. Like I arrived here 10 days ago or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in Tulum, in Quintana Roo, in the Caribbean part of Mexico.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna be here probably for a month more, something like that.
Yeah.
Like Denmark was getting a bit cold and dark in this
Yeah.
time, so it's always, I mean, super lucky to have the possibility to to get to warmer places, and
Yeah.
also like being here with meeting the community and meeting so many other artists and
Yeah.
do collaborations and be together is
Yeah, these are the perks of being a nomad, right?
yeah,
Most of the
exactly.
time, yeah, yeah, because you haven't been traveling a lot. I think this year, everybody is like sort of on hold now, and yeah, so for you must also been hard in the beginning,
Yeah,
yeah,
like definitely I think this year struck us in a interesting way because like I don't think no one of us was thinking that this something like this could actually happen.
yeah,
No, so I think
yeah,
like it's for all of us it has been an exercise, a mental exercise
yeah.
to check for a new point of view about everything, about what we do, and how we can actually be maybe more helpful and do our things in a better way.
Yeah, to reflect and redefine our lives, sort of.
Yeah,
I think that's definitely the case for many people. It's also for me. It's been another lesson in life. But it's never bad. We always come out better, and I think, yeah, I don't want to be too optimistic, but we're getting there. I think we're
yes.
reaching the end of the whole
Um,
thing, and then I believe that everything will go back to normal. I'm a strong believer of this. That it will just be like, remember 2020? Holy fuck. It's gonna
I
be
do
something
agree
like,
with you completely.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. We have to be patient and definitely still we will have probably to struggle a little bit more, but we
yeah,
will
just be
be
patient
back
and
to
positive. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, right. So, yeah, man. Yeah. How's the music? Did you make a lot of music during lockdowns and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, actually, it was quite at the beginning. Like the first 2 months were amazing because after being like traveling a lot and I mean when I'm traveling, I try to do music, but it's never the same as being at home.
Yeah,
The creativity flows in a different way.
yeah,
So actually, like the first 2 months were really productive and really nice to have time at home and like enjoy the calmness and no airports
yeah,
and
yeah,
so it was really nice and after it has been yeah a bit ups and downs with the creativity like
yeah,
some months at the beginning of the summer I was a bit more focused in a show we were doing because we were working on a live. I was working on a live together with other artists, with the Mom and with Holly Coin.
yeah.
And then I stopped a bit with the production, but then came back. It has been actually I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Cora also said because I had Cora a few weeks ago, and he also said like this. First, it was time to like chill out, not like because you're not traveling. Also, Duncan at the same. He came home and he was like, I'm home. Let's fix some stuff. We were fixing the house and doing all kinds of stuff. And after that, like sort of like landing, then you got like, hey, I can become creative and be in your own space. I think a lot of good music comes from a place of rest and a place of calmness. So maybe it's also like a nice reminder of how to take a break from touring sometimes and just focus on the music. So,
exactly. Like I think in a way, of course, it has been many changes, but I think it's gonna bring also good stuff all this time, all this calmness and something I'm thinking a lot is like so many artists being at home, having so much time for producing. It's gonna be great music coming
dude, I spoke
the next
to
year.
Josh Butler. He was checking out his Origins, like the demos address for Origins. He said, "Dude, there's so much good music been sent. There's like so the
Okay.
bar's gonna be high." So talking about music, let's play Empty Space. It's a remix for how do you spell it? How do you say his name?
Ah,
How do,
I think probably I think it's Raj.
Raj?
Like that's the way of yeah because it's
Yeah.
the sound from the I'm probably not pronouncing it
Is it
right either.
Spanish? Or I don't know. Is it or is it
He's
Middle East?
he's based. He has been living in Spain. He's based in Spain, but he has his family is from Armenia.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so maybe it's Armenian because I've never
Yeah.
seen Heyach. Yeah, Raj. I don't know. Anyway, he makes nice music because I remember Duncan also did a
Thank
remix
you.
for him. So let's listen to Empty Space, Alvaro remix. What a nice tune! I really like the haunting. You know, you remember which synth this was? Which synth you've used for this? Ooh, there goes your connection.
That was
Ah,
actually those songs were.
yeah, you're back.
Mhm.
I hope so, or maybe it's me. Oh, it's me.
Can you hear me?
Oh wait, I have to switch. I have to switch Wi-Fi. Exciting. And we're still here. Whew. Great. Are you also here, Alvaro? Hello. 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 Oh no. Well, I guess we're still live. It looks like we're still live. But yeah.
Now it works. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you're back. Great.
Also, I'm not having the great connection.
Yeah, because also
So
my connection, I was on the wrong Wi-Fi. Sometimes it jumps to like this 5G Wi-Fi from some weird old Wi-Fi that we had. I don't know. It's strange, but I think it's still working. We're still online. We have 22 people watching, which is great. Hi, people at home. Thank you for tuning in. This is Diving Live with Alvaro Suarez and Camiel Daamen, and I'm happy you're watching. So, yeah, how did you make this synth in this Empty Space
yeah,
remix? I love this.
actually, those actually are the from the track. Like those are the stems I was having from Hatch.
Ah,
that is a really it's a really like characteristic sound from him, from other tracks.
Yeah, sounds like a
So I
moog.
really like it and decide to keep it. Like there is something like I really like to work on remixes. I must say, I mean, it's true, like I do remixes really often,
Yeah.
even more than originals, you could say.
Yeah, I see you do a lot
Because
of remixes. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I always find it's really like the inspirations come in a different way. Like it's really interesting the possibilities that you have to completely change something, some artistic idea that someone else has done. I think it's always it motivates me more to change a specific picture of a specific track.
Yeah, it gives you a sort of direction. I also like doing remixes. You get like these parts. You're like, oh, and if it's a if it's like if it's horrible if the parts don't inspire. But if they're nice and you can do something with it, it's really great because then you get super inspired. You build some groove to put like the first parts on. You go like, ah, okay. And you have the violin, so you can start playing and adding stuff to it as well, which is great, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, nice man. So, yeah, also the violin plays a big role, of course, when you start remixing or doing stuff, right? So, can
Gives a lot of possibilities. Like not only like on doing melodies or like having first first playing like importance on the track, but also for doing textures or for doing small rhythms and things like that. I think it's really gives a new toy,
yeah,
gives
yeah,
different possibilities. I
yeah.
really like it.
Is there also like a MIDI violin that you could use, like a MIDI violin where you can actually play any
Use
instrument? No?
I never tried. I think there is something they are working on something, but I have never tried.
Yeah, it would be cool because it's interesting because if you can use the same expression that you use on the violin and you can use that expression to capture it through MIDI, especially with the new Ableton 11 coming up where it has MIDI polyphonic expression, you can actually do crazy shit, you know?
Also because like for me it will be amazing. Like it's much more easy for me to make melodies on the violin without really thinking that on a piano
Yeah, yeah.
or say on the computer. So it
Yeah,
would be probably it would
you
be
could
really nice to
play
use
your
a
MIDI
Moog
notes. Yeah, yeah.
with the violin,
With a
like
violin,
with
yeah.
the
Play a
expression of a
moog with a
violin.
violin. That's crazy. Yes, yeah. We should Google it. When we're done, I'm gonna Google that stuff. So, yeah, man. So you don't have an own label, right? You don't release on your own label.
No, I was working some years ago, like with we had a label with some friends from Madrid,
Mm-hmm.
but we were more focused on tech house and other kind of music. So when I started to
Oh, no
go
shit! I didn't know you came
into
from this
when I
corner.
started with the project like Alvaro Suarez,
Yeah.
yes, man. When I started with the project like Alvaro Suarez, we stopped the label and I started to focus a bit on different stuff.
How cool! And can I ask you what your name was as a tech house producer?
Alvaro Tac,
Alvaro, what? Ah, your connection is.
like rhythm in German.
No. Are you still there? Oh yeah, you're still there. I see you moving.
Yes, I can hear you.
We're just a bit slow here and there, but it's okay. So Alvaro Tak.
Yeah.
Great. I have to go. Did you release lots of stuff?
No, not so much. I was just starting. I must say the quality of the music was not really good. I was just starting production
Yeah.
with the production adventure. And
How
after I had
cool.
another project with the before Alvaro Suarez
Yeah.
with the Danish guy
Yeah.
that it was called Sansui,
Yeah. How
and
cool.
we were like playing like analog live.
Oh wow.
Yes,
Analog
just
live
just
set, yes, with Electron machines or.
just machines and the violin.
Wow. How
Like
great. That's insane. I didn't know this. I love this
yeah.
show. So even though maybe I don't know, there's still 20 people watching, but I love this show because you get to hear all this stuff you don't know. It's great, cool, man. Yeah, I've been making tech house a few years ago as well. Really cool. We should share our tech house adventures. Hey, there's Duncan.
Look, I fetched a little Alvaro Suarez Santa Claus over here. Yeah?
Ah, there he is. Hey, he's got a violin. Look
Beautiful,
at him.
beautiful.
Look at this guy.
Good to see you, buddy.
Bringing in the Alvaro
Nice.
Santa Claus here with a violin. Super cool. I love this show. Nice. So wow, great that you actually made Tech House before. So you also did a release on Cora's label, right? And now we're gonna get to it.
Yeah,
Knights of the Sherazad,
yeah.
something like this.
Like the difficult name to pronounce.
Yeah, it's really difficult. Knights of the Sherazad or something. So let's play
Yeah.
some more music of Alvaro before we dive in live. It's always nice to listen to some music. Oh, before we go, Ea Osk says, "Hey Alvaro."
Say hi back.
Hi back. All right, here comes the track. What a nice tune. Super. It was for a fundraiser for Beirut,
Mhm.
right? On Cora's
Yeah.
label.
Yeah, on sessions. Like Cora and his team, they made this amazing work. Like putting together several artists and raising funds for the disaster in Beirut, and
Yeah.
super lucky and super happy to be offered to be part of it. It was
Yeah.
a really, really, really nice movement from them.
Yeah, and doing some good for the planet as well, which is also not bad, I guess. To
We need more of that.
yeah, we need to do more fundraisers. Like make it all circular. Everything we do should be circular. If we get some money, we should invest it in something else at the same time. I think that's very valuable. We get a lot of felicidades. Is this just like that's not like because in Dutch,
Congratulations.
yeah, it's like congratulations. We get a lot of felicidades from everybody. Very funny. And Alejandra Humoller says, Buena, mi brother. So maybe it's a good friend of yours. Maybe you know him. Alejandro Humoller.
Ah, yes,
Yeah.
Moller. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah,
Nice.
people are watching, man. We got 25 people, which is on all different Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. So yeah, man. So you have a track, right, that you'd like to
Yes.
show us because
Yes, we were talking about going through maybe this one you just played. So it's also one a bit special because they has like it's a bit different of how I usually do it. So
Yeah.
I think it could be interesting to go into it and check a bit some stuff, explain a bit of how I do things
Cool.
on
Yeah.
my little mess.
I'm curious how your little mess looks like. We had many messes here, so it's really cool to check it out. Preben Hansen says, Gladelig Jul Alvaro. Wow, that must be like something like gezellig, like we say in Dutch, like it's cozy or something. I don't know.
It's like Happy Christmas.
Oh, like this. Do you
Yeah.
speak Danish?
I can understand a little bit. My Danish, my pronunciation is terrible,
Yeah.
but I can understand most of it.
It must be.
After so many years.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, but it must be fun to hear a Spanish guy speak Danish. I'm really curious how that would sound.
I think fun is actually the best way of describing it.
Yeah. That must be sounding really cool. Cool, yeah. So feel free to start sharing your screen, for people tuning in. We have Alvaro Suarez. And this Dive in Live show always shows a bit in the Ableton Live session of the artist. I do this almost every week. I've been doing this since the Corona times. And you can check out other editions with Elke Klein, Josh Butler. We had Joko, Tripping Jaguar, Johannes, Robin Kamschoor. Well, I must forget a few, but we had loads. And it's always fun because you get to see how they make the music. And even if you're not into music, it might be cool. Tapski says,
I'm a big fan myself.
Danish. Sorry?
I'm a big fan myself. I have been following you here. Like it's really interesting to see other artists how they work, and it's always nice to get more inspiration.
Yeah, and everybody has their own way of working. Some work really simple, some take everything really complex. It's really cool to see. And I immediately see that you use a lot of cool colors, and that's always fun.
Messi, I must say, I'm like always I do collaborations or things like that. Then I completely have to change a bit the way of tidying up the projects, because when I work myself alone, it gets a bit out of control. Like I don't take care of order of different tracks and things like that.
Yeah, that's always the thing. If you work together with somebody, you suddenly, if you live together with somebody, you start become a bit more tidier. It's the same thing, I guess, I was working today in the studio, and also my friend Ari, he's not so, he just keeps a thing as audio. So then when I go in, I first change everything. I give everything names and structure everything. Yeah, that's really cool. Dankie is here. There he is, bringing us the Santa Claus with the violin. It's just very, very cool that he stumbles upon a Santa Claus with a violin just when I'm talking to you. So that's funny. All right, show us the money. Yeah, do you always have the same color codings or the orders, or is it
No, this is
Okay.
actually quite random.
Okay.
That's what I was saying. Like I don't really follow color. Like I try to follow a bit of order, like having like more the bass, kick, and like more low stuff in the top,
Yeah.
and then often it gets more like the melodic stuff in the middle. But now in this one, I can see that it's in the bottom.
Yeah. That happens sometimes. Yeah, sometimes when you add stuff to it, it becomes on the bottom, right? So my
Yeah.
effects are usually down. I'm gonna
The only
remove.
thing that I always
Yeah.
do is like having like the low part and bass, sub bass, and all that together,
Yeah.
the percussion part together, and then the melodic part
Yeah.
also try to. That's the only rule. So sometimes it gets a bit messy, I
Yeah.
must say, but it works
If
when
it works, it
I'm doing
works.
the project.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically.
Cool. And did you compress the drum group? Do you usually use compression, or what is your?
The only compression I use is only on the kick and on the sub and bass, just to mark the kick, to leave the kick more clean. Besides that, actually, I'm not a big fan of compression on percussions or on melodies or anything like that. I try to just go like it is.
Yeah, likewise. I usually don't compress too much because most of the samples we use are already, if we use samples, are already compressed. And
Yeah,
the only thing, if you play your violin, do you compress that if you have a bit of lots of dynamics,
yeah,
like loud stuff and softer stuff?
yeah.
Yeah.
On that, I use waves
Ah,
for that, like quite soft compression. Also because I try to go more like after I record the violin, I try to to edit the recording, moving the volume actually, so it gets in the same level, but it still is not compressed.
yeah, exactly. So it sounds more natural because if you start compressing, it starts to, yeah, change the tonality of your, the impact of your violin, of course. And
Exactly.
yeah,
And also, like I think one of the best thing about using like live instruments is the that range that have movement, and like using compression, and that will make it sound less
yeah,
natural. That
yeah.
is actually what I found more interesting.
Yeah, so the organic vibe is
Yeah,
really important, and if you then slap a compressor on it, you kill basically everything you did. So you want to be a bit transparent with it. And so, any specific compressor you're using for this? Like the bass rider. You know the vocal and the bass rider of the Waves package.
I'm actually quite no, I don't know that one.
These are great because it's like a volume rider, and it actually follows the volume, depending on what's coming in. It's really cool. I know Nora Q uses it a lot,
Nice.
or he
Nora Q
used
is a
it. I'm not-
master.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah, he's a master for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever sent something to him for mixing? Do you mix yourself, or how does
I
that go?
try to mix myself most of the times, but I must say it's when I'm having when I can see that I'm not having clear or some having some problem, and then I send to people. I have where one one friend from Brazil who is doing my masters and my
Yeah.
mixing sometimes, and super happy. He's super talented and super happy to be able to collaborate with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Can imagine. It's good to have somebody that's actually really, really doing the same thing that you would love to do, but sometimes just the mix doesn't come together. It's nice to have an extra pair of ears that can help you. Yeah. Yeah. So
Also
actually,
because on my I think one of my weak sides is like the audio part. I can see that sometimes I'm lacking some knowledge, or that I would like someone an audio engineer to go through it, and I think it enrich the way I work a lot.
yeah.
So I think that about sharing with other people and being able to people who know more about audio to share their way of working, or their ideas about how they can improve your
Yeah.
own sound. I think it's something if we have the possibility, it's something we
Yeah.
should definitely do.
Well, you can follow a course with lessons in life if you want. It's nice. It's
Okay.
always good. I think a good rapport, like building a good relationship with a mixing or mastering engineer, will greatly help. Everybody that's if you use a mixer, they can give you feedback like, hey, your low end is always a bit muddy or whatever. You'll find out what's working or what's not. So.
Definitely.
So the night of the Scheherazade. How did you get to this name again? It was something.
So it's because the Knights of the Scheherazade is the main character of one group of tales called 1001 Nights, and I think you know that name.
Yeah.
Like Camille and me were together in a camp in Burning Man
Yeah.
called 1001 Nights,
Yeah.
and then I did this track actually like a month after the last Burning Man or something like that.
Yeah.
I had been at the time not using samples to produce, almost like I always use samples on the rhythmical parts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna now show how I do it.
Yeah.
But not on the melodic parts. I like to play more with the DSPs, with the contact on every kind of instruments and like or with synths. But I went to play to Paris, and I was with a good friend, also artist, amazing artist called Sahale,
Okay.
and he shared with me some samples that he was having, and
Yeah.
then I got really really inspired by that. Like again, it was like this quite ethnic sound that I have been not producing at the time for maybe half a year,
Yeah.
and then decided to go for something like this, and then it reminded me a bit of the Arab feeling, and I
Yeah.
thought on Burning Man and all the family that
Yeah.
we
Like the whole
shared the time
journey.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it does sound like it, and I think that the especially the percussion in the track is really really cool. So yeah, let's focus in on this. How this came together.
Yes,
Nice.
like well, percussions in this one actually, it's quite intense.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard it in the track. Like it gets layer and layer and layer. It's really
Exactly.
nice.
Like and I have done it with different methods. Like because usually I do all the percussions with the drum racks.
Yeah.
I just select some sounds I like and throw them here. Play with the velocity with a bit of random to give that the out of control feeling, like
Yeah.
more natural sound, and then layer by layer, like playing with it, like basically like
Cool.
so it starts to get like just
Yeah.
basic. It's like sound by sound. I think that it's really really interesting to have a completely control of everything that is going,
Sounds great
and
together. Yeah. I
gives
really.
the percussion that I like.
And what do you do in terms of reverb on the drums? Do you send them to a bus? No.
No,
Or is
no.
it just reverb on the units itself
Yes,
already?
exactly. I use the reverb from mostly I use the reverb from Ableton, but sometimes I'm also using the from Waves.
Ah, cool. The R verb.
And
So yeah.
and at home, when I can produce at home, I have a like an Impress reverb, like a pedal.
Ah, cool. What's it called? Empress.
Impress, yeah,
Okay.
is the brand that I really really like the sound. So often I also run the sound through it and get there.
Yeah. Do you use it as an external instrument then? External audio effect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's cool. Then we've actually today we had this big sky from is it I can't remember the brand, but it's called the Big Sky.
Yeah, it's amazing sound also.
Yeah, yeah, and we routed it to like a return track. So then it goes through the audio card, through the pedal, back into the audio card, and then it's sort of like you can use it inside of Ableton as a send, which is great. I actually forgot about this, and today my friend asked me, or yesterday, or last time we were in the studio, he asked, and I said, "Oh wait, there's this external audio effect we can use." So for pedals, this is great to use. Yeah.
I really like it, like with the percussions. I don't use it so much, but with the melodic elements, I do it a lot because I really like the sound that it has. It's really warm reverb. So
Yeah.
And also the way of working again, like physical, is brings a different sound at the end. So it's nice.
You can like play with the buttons. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And something like I don't like to work always in the same way. Like I like to try different things for different tracks.
Yeah.
I think it keeps my curiosity awake and like the sound a bit changing on different parts. Of course, there is some parts of my tracks that are really similar.
Yeah.
Which I think is also okay for having a specific sound, but on the melodic parts, I try to make different things because I think it's more fun and more interesting for me.
It needs to be divertido, right? It needs to be fun. So but you don't layer all the drums together in a group, right? They're just hanging there. So so no like glue compression or that sort of stuff. So cool that you can just work.
No compression at all.
Like, that's the thing. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny to see. You know, I bet people go like, I thought that always has to happen. No, there's no like one way that they always should do it like this.
I think actually like my production system is quite unorthodox.
Yeah, well, like, that's yeah. It should be easy, you know, or it should be something that works for you. It doesn't matter if it's like, some people go really overboard. Like if you see Nora Q's project, it's like group and a group and a group, and he's compressing. And it's nice to see how simple you keep it, you know. You go like, no, just my kick and my bass, I like to compress. And for the rest, you know, it should be free. Yeah, it's interesting. But you do use a lot of like compressor, like sidechain, I guess, right? I see a lot of sidechain.
On the bass, of course.
Yeah.
Was to keep, but that's the thing. That's the only place where I apply any compression. Like the rest, I try to play more with EQs and choose exactly the range of sound that I want to mark and try to keep it clean on that way.
Yeah. And how do you do it on the hi-hats? Are they really a lot EQ'd as well? Do you use any external... the shakers are also in a group. So you do make like little groups, of course. Yeah. There you go. Look at him. Wow. Took out a lot of resonances. Cool.
In here. I always like to more and more during the years. I have been like getting like really searching that soft sound on the hats.
Yeah.
So I like to remove resonances a lot.
Yeah, I think I've seen Jaron doing the same. You know, I make mostly like house stuff. When I make mostly housey stuff, then it's more raw, kind of 909-ish stuff, and only the rides I will make like these dips. But usually in the house it's very raw, but for the more organic kind of house stuff, you really want to EQ your stuff, so it's like nice and soft and smooth, and everything works really well. Cool to see. So many dips, man. That's great. So they sound nice and you know, it's like silky heads.
It's really like that. I think on the way I like to express the sound, like it's like the heavy and the focus on this kind of music. Like I try to be more on the melodies than actually on the rhythms, even when of course it's dance music, so the rhythms should be, it is an important part, and they are really big and really how do you say?
Yeah, no, important. And well,
Yeah.
I think the rhythm on this track is insanely nice. You know, that's one of the first things I noticed. Like the like the way it sort of like walks is great, and then the more percussion comes in, I think it's great. Maybe we should play a bit in the middle, like maybe
Yes.
from '97 onwards. Yeah, there. Yeah.
So the hats are like super soft happening there, and
Yeah. I like the vocals also.
again super soft and really
Yeah, I like it.
remove all the
Yeah.
resonances there.
It's nice though. I really like it.
Something I'm also like working on the percussions
Yeah.
often is like to try to give a bit more the alive feeling, like often doing loops that are not the half a bar or not the bar
Yeah.
when having so many percussions,
Yeah.
so it gets changing the loop.
Yeah, you make like polyrhythm kind of stuff, so make them
Yeah.
odd lengths. Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's really
Okay.
smart. The percussion sounds amazing on this track. And also, there's a question from Tapski, and I also was looking already. Do you always use track delay on your percussion a lot? Well, you used it on a lot of stuff, I see. Do you always use that? Is the question that Tapski says.
Like delay?
Yeah, do you always use track delay in your percussion, like the delay on the tracks?
No, actually not often. I try to like, unless it's for the end of a phrase or something like that, to make more an effect. I like to build the percussions just like more dry
Yeah. Okay.
without.
Without delays. Yeah, but I see.
Yeah.
I think he means the track delay on the right side. Like you've tweaked the delay on the track.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I do use it a lot for searching the groove.
To find like the nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like actually a lot on the hats.
Yeah.
Always like to put them a bit before, like, well, depending the hat. If it's a long one, I like to move it a bit
Yeah, yeah.
after it.
Duncan does exactly the same. He does exactly the same. He uses this track delay a lot. I never actually use it anymore. I did use it in the past a lot. It's funny to see. Maybe I should do it again. Let's like sometimes good just to check your options. Like oh, this is actually better, or it's interesting to
And
see. Yeah,
one of the things I really like about producing and that I'm still in love with is that there is so many different ways of doing the things that is actually what still makes me so interested about it.
yeah.
Like to be able to learn different ways or be doing similar sound but finding a different way of doing it. I think that is one of the most exciting part
Yeah,
of
yeah.
producing.
Yeah, you're never
producing.
done, man. It's like recently. I have to make a correction. I always thought Joko said it, but Aaron Volta, he was in my show. One of the guys of PIV, and he teaches for Dermarzo, his school, which is really cool. And he said the Tantra, you gotta try the Tantra plugin. And today I was checking out a tutorial on this plugin, and I'm starting to master it together with my friend Ari. And it's such a great tool. So every time somebody throws something at you, like a tip or a plugin, whatever, you get really excited and you go like, oh yes, got something new to play with. It's great. So I can't wait for you to get this MIDI violin. That would be a great tool for you. And let's see, we have Philip, hermano. Querido, good to see you here. Big hug from Filip Cipalski. Hey man, hope you're good. And
Great artist also.
yeah, he makes great music. You know, I know him from the Deep House Academy, and he's been making lots of music. He also did a nice remix for our contest last week. Yeah, if you start a label again, Alvaro, we're gonna do like a remix contest or Lessons in Life. Would be great. And Tufsky says he should use more track delay. Yes, try it out, man. It's great to like find your groove. Yeah, any other particular cool things to share from this project, Mr. Suarez? Oh yeah, the voices. Sorry, I'm asking a question and then I'm the voices. I was really curious to the you know.
Yeah, there is different things. There is one of the VSTs I use the most. It's actually Contact from Native Instruments.
Cool.
And in this case,
there it
is actually different things, but there is.
Ooh.
Bringing some mystery, but that's the funny part about this project, that I'm using a lot of samples from the ones Sahale shared with me.
Yeah, nice. And sometimes, man, all it takes is a good sample pack. I was making a track last week on Friday, and I was just looking for some soul vocals. So I'm just, you know what, go to Loop Masters, download some soul vocals, and I found a really nice pack. And I was like, you know what? And the first one I clicked was like, boom, exactly what I was looking for. So you know, it saves you calling a singer. You know, and it's
because that's the thing. Like, I'm like. Of course, it is always nicer to have a singer, and that brings another uniqueness to the tracks.
Yeah.
But I'm not the one that I'm not the kind of producer that the close ways. Like this was the case with the sample. Like these friends send me this and they inspire me. So
then you can use it.
In my opinion, you should use the inspiration and just do whatever.
Sometimes it just falls together perfectly, I guess, you know. But also, I tried using singers in the past, but you really have to be clear about what you want, you know. If you just say, hey, I need some vocals, it's hard. They need to write their own lyrics or they need to feel the music. And yeah, if you write lyrics yourself, it could be way easier, you know. And actually today I decided to write some lyrics, and next time I can write some lyrics and ask a singer to say, hey, can you sing this? You know, yeah, why not? You know, try that stuff out. Maybe at some point I'm super enlightened and go like, I love you so, and la la la, you know, something, I don't know.
No, but and it's a learning process, no? Yeah. Like I'm sure if you do it often, then it will.
You know, or sometimes you're just in a very emotional or melancholic state, and it just runs out of you. So who knows, you know? It's cool. Yeah, nice. So that's the vocals from the sample pack. It's nice. Yeah, you also have these output. You know, output plugins. Output.
Where? Here?
No, output plugins. These are like a brand. And because Duncan bought like a whole pack together with Jaron, and they are amazing. And they have like the Exhale, I believe it is. There's like these sort of like vocal kind of plugins. They're great. They're output plugins. Check them out, you know. And it's native. It's like Contact extensions or something. You know, I'm not using Contact so much myself, but they look amazing, and I've heard them and they sound amazing. And what do you have more? You have some sound toys. These are great.
Yeah, like the ones I use the most, like I'm super in love with the Blue from Rob Papen, actually.
Oh yeah.
Like I have been liking it a lot for a long time, and still finding new sounds and new ways of doing different music with it. The sound is often a bit like old dance music.
Yeah, like 90s stuff.
Exactly. So it's a bit dangerous, but always finding the way of tweaking it to make it a bit softer. I found really nice ways of doing melodic stuff with them.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, Jared, I haven't seen any organic house guy making stuff with Blue yet. Mostly the house guys use Blue. It's really funny to see. But, you know, in the end, it's a synth. It can make loads of... I think I bet it has lots of nice atmosphere. But today also...
But I must say, like, still like going into organic stuff. Like on the melodics, I really like to use just the contact and the real instruments from there,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
with samples, but always finding the way of try to make them sound quite real.
Yeah. Yeah. Give it some natural kind of touch, basically. Yeah. And you
Yeah.
have your violin, of course. So you play a layer violin. Can you also play different instruments, like a cello, or is that?
I do play a bit guitar. Well, cello I never played, but it's really similar. I have just messed with it a bit.
Yeah.
I have what I do usually is like I have a pitchfork, so I play the violin and mess the sound afterwards to make it sound more deep, or to make several layers, several voices with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Cool, nice. Well, interesting to see this project. Also, we also have Viva la Vida ready here, so maybe it's nice to listen to a bit of Viva la Vida while you get your other project up. So let's listen to this one. Wow, this piano, man, it's awesome. Niceness. Niceness.
Like
Yeah, I really like it. And also a lot of contact, or what's the deal on this one?
Well, this one is actually because often I don't use many things when I do remixes. I don't like to use many things from the originals because, yeah, then it gets too. It needs the twist, no? It's one of the things like.
Yeah, otherwise it gets too much remix. You know, it's like, oh, okay, It's a re-edit sort of. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. But in this one was really hard because it was the group, it was a scene that I really liked, which was mainly also really important on the original, but I really liked
That
the
one.
sound and didn't know how to go through it, so I decided to keep it and decided to keep actually quite a lot of effects from it, but in a different way. But from this
Cool.
track, like the original, what is more characteristic is like the it's Jay Patterson. The original is Mom, Anut, and Jay Patterson, and Jay Patterson is a amazing trumpet player.
Ah.
And the original is the most characteristic thing is the melody from the trumpet. But I
Cool.
wanted
Yeah.
to do something different, and I use the trumpet still for some effects like just like small touches. Just to make the layers
Yeah.
have
Nice.
some texture.
Yeah.
But I wanted to keep the melody somehow, so I decided to convert on MIDI
Yeah.
and
Cool.
do a piano version of it.
So you just
Yeah,
right-clicked on the audio and said convert melody
exactly.
to harmony, melody to
Yeah,
MIDI track, or harmony.
exactly.
Ah,
Melody.
nice. That's great. It's like it's really cool. It's not always flawless, but if it has a good like transient, it will actually do the job quite well. Yeah. Cool that you've done this.
I
That's
had to
cool.
do quite a lot of changes afterwards, but it really helped me to have already like the the mainly structure of the
Yeah.
melody, and also because com I converted to do double voices with it
Wow. Look
and
at this,
like
like an art piece.
to to make it a bit more complicated than
Yeah.
the trumpet.
Yeah. Just using the trumpet, like okay, it's a remix. It's a trumpet. Yeah. Wow. Can I ask you something? Can I
Sorry?
ask you something? So this is what you converted, and you put like a piano from whatever the gentleman or whatever from Contact on it,
Contact, yeah.
and did you have to edit a lot in the MIDI when you converted it?
I did edit quite a lot because I had several different double voices and like
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah,
minor scales.
yeah. But for the rest, did the conversion itself did like a good job? Was it easy? Was it like
It
close?
it did quite a good job on one layer, but when on the original it has like I think it's here. I don't remember. Yeah, there I started to mess a bit
Yeah.
because it was having the different melodies.
He goes, "Nyeh, nyeh." Probably it will make something weird because I've been using this harmony to MIDI track or melody to MIDI track, and it's
Yeah,
not always really good. I think I don't want to bitch about Ableton, but it might be. No, they can improve the algorithm. I don't know if it's hard, if it's big. I'm already really happy that's there, but it's. I
I
think it's
think
yeah,
it really depends of the instrument, right?
yeah,
When I have been trying to use it like on instruments like guitar,
yeah,
it analyze it better, but when like violins or trumpets like this or that
yeah,
they are really long sounds and get like long attacks.
Yeah, because they're like
Then,
what, and then it can't really hear the like the attack, the note, so it will go, oh, okay, maybe it's this note or this note, and then you get weird results.
yeah,
But anyway, it's a great starting point also to like nice, cool that you've used this. I'm really excited that you're the first one that
and
used this in the show. It's funny.
again, like more than for actually doing like the final product, it was more like helping on the process of creating it in a different way.
Yeah, because then it gives you like a starting point. Like, you know what? I'm gonna convert this stuff and throw a piano in there and see where I end up. And then, oh wait, let me delete these notes. Let me add a bit of
Exactly.
layers here, and then it's nice. It's nice. Great thing to do. I really actually from listening to it, I really enjoyed that piano. You know, it's a really fresh moment in the track. Yeah,
So
cool.
also like well, I'm a big fan of using velocity with random
I saw it.
in
Yeah,
in most of the stuff. So then I feel like I don't have the control, which is really good.
yeah. It's again to make it a bit more organic, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we still have about 30 people watching on different platforms. Feel free to drop your question for Alvaro if you want to know a production thing or how he did something. Feel free to drop it in the chat. If you're on Twitch, just drop it anywhere you are. We collect all the comments, so feel free to ask something that's nice to get some interaction going here. Let us know you're here. So yeah, and yeah, anything else to show about this track? I really like this track as well. I see a lot of CLA vocals, which you use a lot. I know Duncan
Yeah,
also really likes it.
yeah. For I do actually use it a lot for melodic elements in general, like the violin. Always, all the my violins in tracks, I run them through the CLI vocals. I think it
Nice.
gives a really warm and natural feeling.
Yeah, it's a great tool. Duncan uses it all the time. I think only recently I came in the studio, he was having his CLA open. I think that's all he's using that a lot. Pookie Chips asks, can you play the piano again? It's so beautiful. Ah, that's nice. And Duncan actually says, what's that Persian song you sent him? It's a winner. I think he's been playing your track a lot lately.
I will open that
You
next.
have
That's the one.
yeah, nice. Is that the new one that you talked about?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, check it out.
The,
Okay, yeah, just load it up. Let's play that piano one more time for Pookie
yes.
Chips, you know, because u vraagt, wij draaien. We say in Dutch. You ask, we play.
Sorry.
And then, yeah, throw it in. Just throw it in that piano.
Something I just realized I would like to also talk about is like I do really often with many elements, like always with hats and like all those percussion elements that I want
Yeah.
them to be soft.
Mm-hmm.
Like I open the stereo of them with a delay with that
Yeah.
really short.
That's a great tip to use a bit of the Haas effect on
Yeah,
the hi-hats to make them less sharp.
exactly.
Good move, Alvaro. Also,
Like
do you sometimes use the vocoder as well for it?
on hats.
On hats, try a vocoder. That's like a super great great tool to make them like a bit softer, you know. And actually, you can use it also to make them longer. There's like a release button. It's great. Try the vocoder. And there's a new device coming in Ableton 11. It's called the Spectral Resonator. That's also like a great unit, and the new chorus and stuff. It's all great. Yeah, but this delay, great tip. So people at home, use some Haas effect. And how do you like it, Pookie Chips? It was the piano piece by Alvaro Suarez. He converted the melody from the trumpet in Ableton Live. Yeah, great. Super nice. So maybe let's load up the Persian one, or do you want to go to something of this guy?
No, I was thinking if it was something else that it would be interesting, but I think that's.
I think it's all interesting. I really like this one. It has a lot of tracks. This track.
I also had this project was a bit. I'm just gonna open it full so you see the madness, because I was doing a completely different version before.
Oh wow!
But I finished it and I actually didn't like it.
Yeah.
So let the track rest for half a month and then did this second one and went for that one. So it was a different kick, many different stuff.
Many different things. Well, sometimes it's good that if you're just not sure about it, just to redo the whole thing, and actually it gives you two options, this one or that one. I think that's always the best. Also, if you're stuck with a mix, you're trying to make a mix down, I usually make 2 or 3, so I can choose the best one from 3 versions, which is great.
Exactly. It's like using the timing right on production and the different mindsets that you have different days. I think is really also.
Yeah, sometimes you just go in there and you make a remix, and you come back the next day and you're like, what? Why? That you're really like, did I make this yesterday and I thought it was great, and then you go like, no, it's like all out of balance. That happens, man. That's
it does happen.
Why you sometimes end up with version 7.5.9. Oh, this looks also interesting.
I heard about it.
Yeah, everybody's been there. Wow, this is cool. This is like on the top. There's nothing. It's so funny.
It's because I was using this is from the original.
Yeah.
And then I decided to keep it there because I wasn't sure at the beginning if I was gonna use other parts of it or not.
Yeah.
And then decide to keep it.
Losing My Impatience. That's a great title.
It's a track. The original track is from a friend from Denmark called his project is called Persian Electro Orchestra.
Oh yeah, you told me about this. Yeah.
And he does amazing music, like using a lot of traditional Persian instruments. It's really, really interesting. But more on the rhythmical part, it's a bit more like pop influence, I would say. Maybe he wants to kill me afterwards, but no, but it's different style. It's really, really interesting.
Cool.
And then he asked me to do a remix for him, and of course with so many traditional instruments, it was a really fun project.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I can see it's been quite the project, because there's some stuff that's closed, but there's a lot of projects in here. Cool. I'm curious to what you've made of it. Let's play a minute or something. Let's do something. Yeah. Ooh.
I'm gonna get some water.
Yeah.
having so many possibilities, like the voice, the santur, it was like really, really
Man,
a
it's
lot
a
of fun.
great track. I can. Duncan said it was the highlight of his Tulum set last month.
Nice.
So it's nice. Maybe he has a video for you. Great. Michelle's here too. Then the drop is.
Actually, I met a guy the other day that was on that set and asked Duncan about the track.
Yes. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. People love it. Very deep. And yeah, good stuff. I
And
really
this
like.
one, like, sorry.
Yeah, good stuff. I can really see why Duncan likes it because it's this like it's a really nice drive of the beat, and then all these like sort of world influences. Perfect. Yeah.
In this one, I was recording because I do have like of course an acoustic violin and then the electric ones that I used to play around and in clubs,
Yeah.
and then producing like I mostly I use the acoustic one, but not always,
Okay. Yeah.
because then I something I like of the part I like of the violin is like the middle range.
Yeah.
Like I'm not so a big lover of
The
the
high.
high pitch part of the violin
Yeah.
anymore. So I'm always filtering it.
Like this. You make it a bit
That's why I
more.
can use also so that's why I can use also the electric ones and still find them that are an interesting sound, because of course they are not as rich
Yeah.
as the acoustic, but in this one I use the acoustic, so I just did some different recordings. It was more than 3 at the beginning,
Yeah. Yeah.
but and then just choosing which phrases I like it. And
You will love the new Ableton 11.
quite simple here, like just the IQ to narrow only to the mid frequencies, and some noise remover.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah. Make it a bit stereo. Nice. Man, this instrument where it puts you right here in the now. Doesn't it? It just makes you like, I'm here. I'm alive. And the X noise from Waves, is that to like, because you're obviously recording your violin through a microphone? Might be
and it was
some.
having some
Yeah.
a little bit of noise.
Yeah.
So and again, like I do like the dirty part of the violin, like violins that sound like kind of broken
Yeah.
ish, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Then like applying these noise removers, I never think that it's actually a problem. It gives a different personality to the song.
Yeah, man. It's all depending on what you throw on there. You could also put like a tape emulator on it. Throw it to some kind of tape emulator to make it a bit more wobbly. That's great. I think great like chorus or tape emulations could really spice up a good playing. But it's so nice when you. I wish I could play violin, Alvaro. Man, I really.
There is always a time for starting.
I should do some lessons with you next time. Next time we go to Burning Man, I'm doing a week course. Every day we do a bit.
Deal, we have a deal.
Hey, Zink is here too. Yo, man. Great. Students dropping in. Great. Really cool. Nice that you're all
And
here.
then like again, the kicks, I use always the same method, like in subs. It's true, actually, in this one, because what I do often, like my subs are like I just use kicks and remove the
attack.
attack.
Yeah, nice.
Like I do it in most of my tracks, but funny that in this one it's actually
just yeah. But there's also one with so you've used both techniques. Nice. It's cool, interesting to make the attack of your kick more open and use that as a sort of like a bass line, a subby bass line. It's cool. And do you also use toms sometimes for your bass lines then?
Not often, not often. Sometimes just to give some extra rhythm, but I'm not a big fan of it.
No, 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 cool.
I was actually like I like more to use sometimes some low percussions than actually like toms from drum machines.
Yeah, cool.
But I'm not really often. Actually.
Yeah, because it reminds me of this guy from Dirty Bird. Always had these toms as sort of like a bass line, very like bombastic kind of house beats, you know.
On house, I think it's amazing. It gives like all the
makes it
exactly,
really
all
like
the
what's his
shoulder
dirty
movement.
Yeah, what's his Dirty Bird guy again? What's his name? Martin? I don't know. Can't remember anymore. My brain is letting me it's leaving me alone. All right, great. So and also the structure on this track is again like it's gone. Like your kick is up though, but there's a sub driving down there. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's funny how you work. And these arps, are these arps? You come in later in the track. I haven't heard the arps yet.
No, but I decided to remove them.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was working with some ideas, but
they're muted.
And
yeah.
again, even when I finish the tracks, I don't like to
remove stuff.
To remove, yeah.
Oh, that's OCD, man, or something like
Yeah.
it's autism.
It may be.
I know the feeling though, because today we were also working in the studio, and at some point, okay, so we're not gonna use this. All right, so delete it. Yeah, just delete it. And every time I just delete it, I'm like, no, but maybe, but but it's fuck it. Kill your darlings, they say, right? So maybe it's good, but you never know. But you could just delete track 1 till 7. The track's out. Everybody having a great time
Definitely
on the dance floor. Okay, delete it right now. Make no, like this is a moment in time,
But I'm gonna start to do it.
Alvaro has just changed his mind, Yeah, but that's cool. It's if you can also keep it because later on you might have a project you're working on. You go like, maybe this ARP that I didn't use in this track, losing my impatience. I should find it and use it. Cool. So, yeah.
Then again, like the percussion.
I have a question for somebody I forgot about.
Yeah. Throw it.
Yeah. Okay. And then we go to the percussion. Yo, super cool to see Alvaro on the show. Yeah. How do you decide when to continue with your project or move on? Do you finish something before moving on to something new? Real Adventura asked this on Twitch.
Mm-hmm. I like to work in many different projects at the same time. Like I think it's actually something that that is necessary to be able to clean your ears and your mind when you are working and be able to go back to the project and have an objective view of it again.
Yeah.
So I really like to I always have like at least 5 projects that I'm working.
Yeah.
And then when decide to move on, that's a really good question. Like when I think that it's done, but actually I wouldn't be able to describe that. Like talking with many friends, and I think at the beginning, always you start to produce. One of the biggest problems is like when to decide. Like, okay, the track is
finished
done here, because there is always like I can change this, and
I think it's never finished, right? I do make a lot of ideas, and I just work out. I just was today in the studio with Ari, and I said, "Hey, man, I have this project that I worked on before. Let's try." And that's just the loop and session view. Do you use session view a lot to start your ideas, or do you always work in arrangement view?
No, I always start on session. I do like I add the different elements here.
Yeah.
And when I think I have enough elements for building a track, then I jump on the arrangement.
And when do you decide to make it an arrangement? Do you also jam the arrangement live? And when do you decide to actually start arranging? When do you decide the loop is good enough to build into a track? When does that moment happen?
I think when I have enough elements that on the session view, I can make changes happen, and I can actually jam there a bit.
Yeah.
And then on the arrangement, I like to draw it like this, like when on the previous project that we were talking before, when we were working with the analog machines, or when I actually use my machines like on my productions, then I do like to record like the whole track
Yeah, yeah, okay,
on
yeah,
each
yeah, cool.
machine.
Yeah,
But if it's with the elements from the computer, I like to do it like drawing straight.
yeah, yeah. Cool. It's very interesting to hear how you work. I actually jam a lot of stuff, but I have less elements, because I'm more of a house head, so I have less elements. So, you rarely see me with like 30 or 40 tracks, it's mostly like maybe maximum 20 tracks or something. So it's a totally different ball game, but it's cool to see how
And
you work, man.
often actually, like, I have more elements on the session view that I end up using on the arrangement.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I see, because there's like 7 tracks on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the sub didn't make it either. The sub at the bottom didn't make it either, or
No, because I decided to use the one from Blue,
yeah,
and
cool, yeah, yeah, and then you're like, fuck
I
the
was
other one.
having enough.
And where is this gonna be out? Oh, cool. How do you do? Oh,
This
yeah,
is gonna be out like half January, end of January, and we are gonna release it through not through any label, just ourselves and with a distributor that my friend is working.
DistroKid maybe. Is it
Yeah,
DistroKid? Yeah. DistroKid's the bomb, man. Everybody who wants to release something themselves. DistroKid apparently is really nice. Yeah.
I never tried to release things without the label, and I wanted to try out,
Man,
see
it's
what
a
happens.
big track. I think it's gonna be played a lot. Make sure to send to a lot of your DJ buddies as soon as they can play. They want to play this. So yeah. So what's up for you then? Music wise, how are you gonna see 2021 actually? What's your plans?
There is well, I have now some things coming out like this a remix for Anatolian Sessions
Cool.
on his own label in Harabe. And also I'm working with the guys from Denmark, from Sofa Beats,
Okay. Sofa
that
Beats. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, they are gonna we are working on releasing 2 originals that I have, and still finding out remixers and working on that. So there is, like, luckily after the months of lockdown, there is a lot of music and release, and trying to find a way to put it out there, like, no rush, but
Yeah.
always always moving,
Yeah, always
right?
keeping. Yeah, you gotta keep the creative juices flowing. And it's just weird because like nobody can really play it. Then yeah, maybe Duncan was in Tulum last month, but for the rest, there's hardly room to play something out now. So it's strange. It's just merely podcasts and yeah, and Josh just went to New Zealand. In New Zealand, there's no corona. So he's there and he's having like probably the only one that has normal parties to play. Like really like normal parties.
But I
So
think I'm quite positive, like, it's gonna change during the next year. Like, we are gonna, like we were talking before, it will go
it
back
will
to
come
normality
back.
slowly.
Yeah, man, we should like next summer. It should at least end of the summer in Europe. We should be able to do something,
Yeah.
right? People are getting vaccines. The sun will come out in March and April. We'll be able to go back outside and whatever.
Exactly.
Life will be better than it is now in the wintertime. And maybe who knows, something miraculous happens. Suddenly, yeah, people get more resistant towards Corona. Whatever. I sound like a positive guy now, but I am. So.
Yes,
But it's.
and
I
it
think
should
it's
be like that.
gonna. I think it's gonna go. I think this is just a test, a 1-year test for everybody. Like
It is, and yeah, like, also, both in my point of view, both from the artist and from the crowd, I think everyone is, like, really looking forward
yeah,
us to show all the things we have been working, and people to enjoy, and
yeah.
to hug and to have fun with each other.
I think this is the best way to conclude this whole thing. Like people are waiting for the musicians to play their music they made during lockdown, and people can't wait to like go like, hey man, and we're ready to dance. That's it. It must be it. So
It will,
yes,
it will.
yeah, Alvaro. thank you so much for being in my show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Always pleasure.
Yeah, Shares, thanks for sharing your knowledge and your projects, and I wish you the best time in Mexico, and enjoy the sun. And yeah, we'll be chatting soon, man. I hope to
Yes.
see you soon, and yeah, just enjoy life there, and yeah, we'll be in touch soon,
Thank
man.
you. Yes. Thank
Okay.
you for having me and all the support to this amazing thing you are doing.
Thank you so much. And people at home, thank you for watching. People online. And yeah, check out Alvaro's music, Alvaro Suarez, if you don't know him. If you do know him, yeah. And see you next week. Or not next week. We'll be on the Monday with Timmy P. So check out Lessons in Life on YouTube and lessonsinlife.com for potentially if you want to follow a course, or if you know somebody that wants to follow a course in becoming a producer themselves, let me know. And thank you so much for tuning in. And Alvaro, see you soon.
Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao. Bye, everybody.